So today we will discuss about the subject design of RCC and steel structures of 4th semester, and first of all we will discuss about unit 1, the introduction about design of RCC and steel structure. So what are the learning objectives of this subject, and especially about the first unit? To understand the concepts of RCC and necessity of steel reinforcement. What is the concept of reinforcement cement concrete and why do we use steel as a reinforcement material? To learn about the functional and structural design approaches, the different types of functional and structural design approaches. Master load classifications and design standards. To identify the different types of loads. Apply Indian standard codes IS 875, IS 1893, IS 13920, and some other code books I would like to mention: IS 456 2000, IS 800 2007. To understand the limit states and about the importance of safety factors. Reinforcement concrete and steel, the concept and the necessity. Why steel reinforcement? Why actually we use steel as a reinforcement material, and what is the position of the steel? Okay, concrete is weak in tension. This is the first reason. Steel provides tensile strength. It acts also as a composite material. It increases the load capacity and prevents crack propagation, and it is also cost effective. Okay, and what is the position of steel in the structure? In case of simply supported beam, it is provided in the bottom part, that is in the tension zone. In case of continuous beam, it is provided both at the top and also in the bottom zone, and it is also provided at the supports and in the midspans. Now let us look at the two most important design approaches: functional design and structural design. So what are the main points that falls on the functional design? Planning and layout, space requirements, utility and aesthetic value, comfort of the user, maintaining the safety provisions and the accessibility. In case of structural design, the load analysis, the selection of the materials, the sizing of the members, the reinforcement details, the stability and strength, and the different types of codes, that is the code components. So we look at the scope of structural design. So there are basically 4 main scopes of structural design: planning of the structure, analysis and detailing of it, calculating the relevant loads, and symmetrical planning. We will look at the classification of loads according to Indian Standard of Code 875. First comes the dead load. These are the permanent loads of the structure. Example: self weight and the wall. Imposed load is the live load. People, the furnitures, the wind load. Okay, load due to the wind mentioned in Indian Standard Code Book 875. Seismic load, the force due to earthquakes mentioned in Indian Standard Code Book 1893. Earthquake forces and seismic zones according to IS 1893. So you can see here the criteria and the load combinations. Different types of seismic zones and the combination of different types of loads you can see here. So you can see here the important Indian standards for RCC design: IS 456 2000, Code of Practice for Plain and RCC Structures; IS 875, Code of Practice for the different types of design loads; IS 1893, the Indian Seismic Code; SP 16, designers for IS 456. So you can relate this with IS 456 2000. SP 34, it is a handbook for detailing. IS 13920, seismic detailing of RCC structures. So you can look here about the limit states and partial safety factors according to IS 456 2000. These are the types of limit states and these are the partial safety factors. for concrete, for steel you can see, and for different types of loads. In case of limit state also you can see the ultimate limit state for collapse prevention and for maximum load capacity, and this is for serviceability of limit state, crack control, deflection limits and durability. So this is the summary of the unit 1. These are the main points we get from unit 1. Thank you.